Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking about the newest fragrance releases on the market. This is a series I do here on my channel every single Monday. We sit down, we talk about the new releases, what's hot, what's not, smash or pass. So that's what we do here every single Monday, but I also publish videos on Wednesdays and Fridays as well with a ton of bonus content in between. So if you're interested in fragrances at all, do consider subscribing. There's a pretty interesting lineup this week, some brands that I am really excited to see some new items from. So without further ado, let's get into it. Le Monde Gourmand is coming out with a limited edition drop in collaboration with 3 creators. This collection will be called the Coterie of Creators Collection, which, and I quote, draws on the artistic vision and creative power of the gourmand community to bring you a trio of mouth-watering scents. First up, we have Pesh Delicios by Jade. This is going to be a juicy peach, velvety caramel, and warm vanilla crumble fragrance. Next, we have Tash de Cafe by Ethan Gaskill. This is going to be a blank page accord, rich espresso, and musky cedar wood. And then Angel Soiree by Caroline Stern with lychee meringue, sweetened rose milk, and vanilla biscotti. So those are the main hero notes of each fragrance, but to break them down more thoroughly, let's start off with Pesh Delicios, and I think that's how I pronounce it, I'm not sure, but this is a fragrance that is created in collaboration with Jade. So this is a perfume that very prominently features peach. So you have top notes of peach, cinnamon, and orange, a mid of white rose, caramel, and cocoa, and then a base of vanilla. I feel like if you are a gourmand peach lover, this sounds amazing. I think that what they're going for is a lighter, more dessert-like iteration of peach. So it doesn't look like there is anything boozy in here, which I think is a little bit refreshing, because when I first saw the promo images of this fragrance in particular, I was thinking, are they going for a boozy peach? And if so, is that appropriate for the summertime? But this looks like a really juicy and delectable peach fragrance for the summertime. I think this is an absolute smash, but I don't know if it's my favorite. I feel like that's coming up because there's one that looks very unusual, and if you know me, you might know what I'm talking about. But let's next talk about Angel Soiree. So this is a perfume with top notes of marshmallow, strawberry, lychee, and apricot, and then a mid of milk, rose, magnolia, and violet, and a base of sandalwood, vanilla, praline, and musk. This sounds absolutely delectable. I think it's interesting that they're incorporating a more lactonic twist into this with the marshmallows and the lychee. I feel like this would be a delicious fragrance, and there's a lot going on here. I really like this one. I think it's really fun. Again, I like all of them a lot, but I've saved my ultimate favorite for last. This is Tash de Cafe. And by the way, when I'm talking about like favorites, I mean obviously I've never smelled these perfumes, but I'm just going by the notes and what I would be most intrigued to try, even though I honestly would love to try all of them. So you have top notes of dark chocolate, black pepper, and saffron, a mid of tonka, rose, milk, and ink, and then a base of patchouli, cedarwood, amber, vanilla, and musk. This is my favorite, and I think it's my favorite because it seems to be like the most unusual and the most, I would say, inventive. It's not every day that you see ink in a fragrance, and black pepper is one of those notes that previously I've been a little bit hesitant to try. But recently I've tried a few fragrances that do have black pepper, and they've turned into fast favorites. So I feel like the brightness of the saffron with the ink, the black pepper, and what are the other notes here? The rose, the milk. I feel like this would be a very inventive and inspired fragrance. And I think the dark chocolate would make it, I mean, Le Monde Gourmand, it would make it more gourmand. So I'm very curious about this one. I would say it's an absolute smash for every fragrance in this collection, but the one I'm like most intrigued by is the last one I just mentioned, because I feel like this might be the most experimental one and the most unusual one. I feel like, okay, I sound clueless, but I feel like they're trying to maybe go for like a literary element, and if they are, that would be so cool. Another interesting launch is from Anna Sue. This is Fantasia rose, and this is going to be a woody aromatic scent with top notes of wild berries, bergamot, and ambrette, a mid of water notes, geranium, and rose, and then a base of amberwood, vetiver, and musk. Now, okay, don't judge me, please. But I feel like Anna Sue, and again, I haven't tried any of the fragrances, but I feel like the brand has like this reputation for kind of being sort of similar to celebrity fragrances in the sense that we're talking like sweet, maybe not long-lasting scents, maybe nothing to write home about. I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about Anna Sue fragrances, so I feel like I don't know about this scent. And to be honest, when I see wild berries as a note, it can either go like very artificial smelling or it can be super realistic. There's really like, it depends. There's not a lot of in between. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant about this. I feel like I would like to try this. Would I go out of my way to buy this or to buy a sample? I don't think so. So this is going to be a path for me personally. But how about you? Have you tried Anna Sue fragrances? And if so, what are your thoughts? Next up, we have a new fragrance released by Miu Miu. This is Lost in Grace. It's a woody, powdery iris fragrance. And already I feel like this would be something I would be interested in trying. We have top notes of pear, a mid of iris, and a base of cedar. Very simplistic, but personally, I am in love with the iris note. I feel like iris just, I don't know. Iris is just one of those fragrance notes that whenever you smell it, to me, it smells very elegant and very understated. And I absolutely love like powdery fragrances. I mean, but every now and then I get kind of like sick of like the super like powdery baby powder, and I kind of want something that's like more similar to like a makeup powder. Do you understand what I mean? So like I feel like iris lends that to fragrances. So this would be something I would be interested in trying. So yeah, Miu Miu, Lost in Grace. Have you tried anything from Miu Miu? I personally have not, but this does look rather interesting. Next up is a new fragrance from Sora Dora. This is red, and this will feature top notes of coconut, cardamom, pink pepper, mandarin orange, bergamot, and clementine, a mid of hazelnut, fig, nutmeg, tiare flower, mugwort, frangipani, iris, ylang ylang, jasmine, and clove, and then a base of caramel, sandalwood, woody notes, and musk. I believe I smelled this in a scent. I'm not sure. It's been a while, and I likely wasn't able to smell it that much, and I might have been nose blind. So I will say this. My interpretation of Sora Dora, which is a brand that I've kind of become a little bit enamored by in recent months, is they take trendy fragrance notes and they execute them in a way that's very reminiscent of traditional French perfumery. So we see notes here like coconut, caramel, tiare flower, but I feel like they're going to execute it in a way that's very elegant. And I think this is a fragrance that I would definitely love to try out. Again, I'm pretty sure I tried this out in Essence, but I am pretty sure I can't remember what it smelled like. So I would be lying to you if I could like give you any sort of opinion on what it smelled like, because it was 3 days of smelling hundreds of fragrances, and I think I lost track, which is kind of unfortunate. I am very sorry. But this is a fragrance I would definitely smash. It sounds so weird. A new fragrance released by Xerjoff is also something I'm really interested in. This is a fragrance that is called Levar de Sol, and this is going to be one of their permanent fragrances. And this is inspired by a new day, a new hope. And this fragrance literally translates to rising of the sun, and it's inspired by the phoenix. So the phoenix is a mythical creature that essentially represents new rebirth and new beginnings, a phoenix rising from the ashes. You know what I mean? So essentially we have a citrusy, spicy, and woody perfume with top notes of rose, lemon, orange, bergamot, green notes, and apple, mid of cardamom, violet, lily, jasmine, and then a base of patchouli, musk, oak moss, tonka bean, caramel, and benzoin. A lot of caramel in new fragrance releases, which is kind of fun, especially for the summertime. So I feel like this will be a lighter caramel fragrance to wear. I'm also very much intrigued by the green notes and the apple at the top. I definitely do want to get my nose on this. I feel like this would be a very fun interpretation. And having smelled all of, I think not all, I mean, obviously not all, but having smelled a lot of new releases from Xerjoff, I mean, I don't own any Xerjoff, but I've smelled many samples. I own decants, and I've smelled their some of their new releases for this year. I'm very impressed by so many of them. The Cosmorati, the silvery blue one, I think that is really cool. I'll flash it on the screen. There's also a new Alexandria 2 fragrance that they came out with, which I'm obsessed with. That is on my full bottle wish list, even though it's like $400. So this new one is definitely one I would be interested in trying out. So this is an absolute smash. I am excited about this one. And I'm kind of curious as to like when this will be coming to the US, because I feel like we get like the last of every kind of fragrance release. So moving on to a new affordable fragrance release by Lattafa. This is called Eclair, and this is a perfume that is supposed to be a hyper realistic gourmand scent with top notes of caramel, milk, and sugar, followed by white flowers and honey, and then a base of vanilla, praline, and musk. I'm very curious about this one because, again, it's following that lactonic trend. It has some caramel in here. I feel like this would be one I would very much be interested in trying out, and I do think it's already available on Amazon, so I feel like I should order it so I can review it for you. But this looks like an absolutely delicious gourmand fragrance that I would be very much interested in trying. So this is a smash. The only thing that I don't like, and again, this is me being very nitpicky. If you're new here, hello, I'm nitpicky. I don't like the packaging. I don't like the bottle. I feel like the bottle is kind of ugly, and I mean, I know Lattafa can come out with good bottles. They come out with some really pretty bottles, but sometimes like they're like trendy fragrances, and I don't want to say trendy fragrances, but well, a lot of the fragrances that really end up getting like hyped and end up going viral are fragrances that come in really ugly bottles. For example, the Yara line. I'm sorry, those bottles are ugly. The Yara line, I literally have one of them and it's an ugly bottle. I'm sorry, it just is. They have some other really pretty bottles though, but this is not one of them. This is an ugly bottle, so I feel like this would be a really pretty fragrance, but the bottle looks ugly. We also have a new fragrance by Zaharoff. Now, this is going to be a perfume that is geared towards unisex/men, but this is going to be a fragrance with top notes of apple, lavender, rosemary, and eucalyptus, amid of blue cypress, immortelle iris, coconut, orange blossom, maritime notes, and mugain, and then a base of citrus, frankincense, red seaweed, amber, and musk. A lot of really interesting notes here. I feel like this would be a smash for me because I think that these are some really interesting and out of the ordinary notes that I would be very keen on trying. I mean, what does red seaweed smell like? You know, that's a question, I guess. But this would probably not be a fragrance that I would reach for on a regular basis because it seems to be leaning relatively masculine. Which is not necessarily my style at the moment, but this would definitely be a fragrance I'd be interested in trying out just for the fun of it. And the bottle does look really pretty. The Zahara bottles, they always make a statement with them. They always look really pretty. I haven't seen any of them in person, but I think I have one of their fragrances in a decant form, and that is a strong fragrance. So yes, this is a smash. I'm very curious to try this one out. Let's see what's next. Okay, so we have two new fragrances by Pepe Jeans, which is a British brand. I just saw these and I was kind of intrigued by them. So we're going to go through them just for the fun of it because I don't know if I'd buy them, but you might be interested. So we have Pepe Jeans Addictive for Her. This is inspired by like kind of a cocktail setup. So they have like a martini glass fragrance for the women and then a cocktail shaker for men. So the Addictive for Her fragrance is a fragrance with top notes of mango, pear, and bergamot, a mid of orange blossom, gardenia, and amber, and then a base of musk, sandalwood, and cedarwood. A mango fragrance, perfect for the summertime. I am not sure I would buy this fragrance though, because the bottle is just, it's not necessarily for me. It's not my thing. So I feel like just because of the bottle, I wouldn't be interested in this, but it sounds like a fun summer fragrance. I don't know. I'm just being honest. But then the next fragrance is for men, and this has top notes of sage, grapefruit, and cinnamon, mid of leather, geranium, and lavender, and then a base of ambergris, oak moss, and tonka bean. I feel like if I had to smell both of these fragrances, I'd probably gravitate towards the one for men the most, because I personally do like leather fragrances, so long as it's not too scratchy. But I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy this. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't, because I think that based off of this being it looks like would be a designer brand, and I'm pretty sure that they would be pricing these. I mean, I would have to check, but I feel like the pricing would be like above $50 probably, unless it's like 25. But even if it's like 25, I think at some point I like to have fragrances as an experience. I like to feel like a certain way whenever I spray a fragrance. So bottles to me matter a lot, because I want to have a nice experience, and I want to be able to look at a fragrance and be like, that's my fragrance and that's what I'm wearing. And I want to have that little bit of, I don't want to say luxury, because not all fragrances are going to be luxurious, but sometimes I do want to have like that kind of upscale experience when I'm using a fragrance. And if a bottle looks a little bit too cheap, unless it's like an amazing, phenomenal fragrance, I'm not necessarily going to wear the perfume. And there's some fragrances in my collection that I don't really use, almost purely because the bottle just doesn't make me feel happy to use the fragrance. So that's just how it is. And I am curious to know, do you feel the same way? Do you think I'm being nitpicky? But I just feel like with all the money we're spending on fragrances, we want to feel good. And even if we're not spending a lot of money on a fragrance, you want to feel good when you're putting that fragrance on, you know? And if you're not feeling great, what's the point of wearing it? Then it kind of becomes something similar to fast fashion, where you just like use a fragrance a few times and then chuck it, you know? Or you just put it in the back of your collection and you never see it again. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that makes me feel good. So this would be a pass, most definitely. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. Those are all the fragrances I wanted to cover for this week. Check back in next week if you want to see more of these fragrance news videos, and if you want to catch up on the previous week's videos as well, I'll put them down below in the playlist link, and you can also watch them on my channel. I think so far I've done like 3 to 4 videos like these. It's been, or I think 5. Yeah, I feel like this is a fun series. It's really just a fresh way to kind of introduce what's new on the market and just sit with you and have a chat about new fragrances. So I do enjoy filming these for you, and I hope you enjoy watching them as well. Thank you for watching till the end of this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!